Hey guys, so I wanted to do a real quick little one-shot video on doing a brass rivet in some leather because what I wanted to do is lock my my tool belt together so that the bags don't slide on the belt itself. Just peg them together with a rivet because that would look nice and match the belt. And I was looking at rivets and I had to get a whole bunch of them. And they were expensive, and I thought, that's crazy, I'm not going to get 100 rivets because I only need like 4 for the belt. And I didn't want to pay that much money, so I was trying to figure out what I could do. So here's what I got is, I just went to the hardware store. We've got a pretty nice hardware store nearby. Got a brass rod. I think it's an 1/8, probably an 1/8 rod. And then there's some little brass washers, tiny little guys that just fit. They make nice contact when they go over. And so here's what I do. So I put the washer on, just like that, and then I'm going to hold it just on the back side of that washer with some vice grips while I take my ball peen hammer and use the ball, and I just want to just peen this over, mushroom this over the top, and I can stand it up. This helps a little bit. Sorry you can't see this. So I'm just mushrooming this, the brass rod over. And it really doesn't take much to keep that washer from popping off. It's not coming off at this point. And then here's what I do. I hammered this other end a little bit, so it has a little bit of a taper, just to make it easy to fit it through these holes. So I put my tool belt on, and I wore it for about a week or more, and figured out where I wanted one of these bags. And then I put a little board on the inside of the belt, and I drilled a hole right through the belt into the board very carefully so I didn't drill into my stomach. And here's the iffy part. So now I just have to work through. So I used so like I said, I just used a drill bit. And it's a fairly snug fit here. And I just put a nail through here so I know this will go. But I need to find, oh, we're all the way up here. Okay, here we go. We're all the way up here. Because I want these holes to be where the belt will actually hang when there's weight in it. I didn't want to just put it together and drill a hole and then weigh it down, because then it would be hanging on the rivet and not on the belt itself. So, poke that through, pull this all the way up until the washer and the end of the rod are up tight. I take another washer. Whoops. I didn't even take anything in. I took some stuff out of my bag, so it's falling all over the place. And then I slide this washer all the way down, if I can. I have a little resistance here. Huh. There we go. Well, the other ones didn't do that. Okay, so anyway, so this slides all the way down. I got this all the way down tight here. And then ideally you have a tool that fits over the end of the rivet and drives that washer, that burr on tight. I'm just going to kind of tap it down as best I can. And then take my handy end cutters and cut it pretty darn close to that washer, because I know it's gonna get squashed down farther. And there we go. And then, so we had just a little rod poking up. I'm just gonna keep that washer down. And then it might be a little bit much sticking up. You can't see that at all. It's not much, it's hardly anything, but you don't need much. You just need a little tiny mushroom to hold that rivet on stronger than the dickens. So then I want to make sure that the other side of this rod that we peened over in that washer, this is tight on my little railroad anvil or any old chunk of steel or a rock or anything that will hold it strongly. And then now I can really get a nice mushroom going on this guy. So I'm just going to work this down, and as it mushrooms, it will pull that washer down ahead of it. So you want to start it tight, but it will draw it up even tighter as you go. I hope you can understand that. And then, so that's nice, and it's pretty smooth. You want to feel if this will catch. Well, I don't know if you want to do, but this is what I want to do: is make sure that it's not going to catch string or anything, so I can feel there's a little bit of an edge on that mushroom right there. So I'm gonna just work that side down a little bit, because otherwise I know it's gonna be catching on everything and tearing my clothes, tearing my shirt sleeve and stuff. And then I want to go over on this back side and do the same thing and make this even smoother. Do the same thing, because this obviously is going to be rubbing against my clothes, my belt, my pants and stuff, so don't want this messing things up. I don't know if I have this on here really good. Okay. There we go. This is good. Yeah. Okay, something like that. That's pretty smooth. Oh, look, actually, I can push that down a little bit more. Anyway, you get the idea. That's basically it. You just peen both the ends over. It's just like a rivet, except you peen both ends instead of having a head on one side. And yeah, you just keep working it, and if it's no good, you can, if you decide you don't like it or something goes wrong, you just grind or file one side down. It'll pop apart. You can also very carefully drill it in the center. You can make a little flat spot right on the top, and then use a little punch, make a little divot, and then successively larger drill bits and drill that out until you can get that apart. And then just redo it, just put another one in. So this was super cheap. I forgot how much. The rod was like, it was a few dollars, $3 or $4. And then the little washers were like, I forget, 17 cents a piece or something. So this is really easy. I can use this rod for a lot of other different kinds of projects if I need to. It's nice to have some brass rod around. The washers, whatever. I can do more rivets, on something else. And it's nice because this can, I can, make any length of rivet with this. So anyway, I just wanted to share because I was just finding a lot of information about factory-made rivets and how to install those. So I just wanted to show a little quick and dirty alternative that doesn't look too bad, if I do say so myself. And I know this washer, it's not really big, but man, leather is so strong, it's not going to pull through. All it's going to do is just keep this from sliding around on my belt. So, and then just one last little note, probably already figured this out if you got this far. But so my belt's going to go in here, and it's going to tuck under there. So I put this on the back side because you want to make sure that you don't run into where the belt's going to go and cause problems. So I didn't want to put it up on this side because then I couldn't get the end of my belt in. That's all I got. Peace.